So you're saying that they have to have a staff just to handle this? I mean, that's insane. So I'm wondering, I'm just imagining right now in my mind's eye, just, of course it's not coming in physical form, these are all digital, but I'm just imagining like 4,000 sheets of paper being just coming out of this chute and just flying into this business, and I'm wondering how on earth do they even pick? You know, do they just put their hands over their eyes and, you know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo? How on earth do they even go through that?
Well, you know what, exactly, that's a process that's changed as well. You know, I mean, you know, because of the scarcity of jobs, you know, when times were, you know, the other way around, when businesses were really booming, you know, someone can apply for a job, and let's say you receive maybe about 50 resumes the next day or something like that. Then you have a person who could do just that. They can go through resumes and say, well, you know what, these 10 here of the 50 sound really strong. Maybe I'm going to give these people a call. That's out the window now. Like you said, when you receive 4,000 resumes, or let's say in 2 or 3 days you receive 10,000 resumes, the process has all changed. That's a sign of the times. So now what happens is myself, as well as the younger people who are going in, this is their first experience. Again, for me, this is, for our age range, it's like, this is like a whole reality check. Like, we're not used to this. You know, we're not used to having to go through this or knowing that this is a process. What companies do now is they have a program system. Many of them have a program system set up, and what it does is it will solicit resumes in various ways, and it will say, okay, if the position is for an account executive, and there may be about 20 words that they consider, you know, part of their job description, so to speak, that's very key to their job description. They will look, this program will go through 4,000 resumes, 8,000 resumes, 20,000 resumes, and you can select it to pick, let's say, 100 resumes that have all 20 of those words in that person's resume. So that person has to know to use those words.
Right.
You know? So but then you have, you know, the other people who, let's say, it only maybe 10 of those words were used. Those people are pushed to the side. And that becomes the first part. That becomes the first criteria for picking your candidates.
Right.
It becomes the first criteria is to just see if those 20 words are there, anybody else is out the door. So now you have people who think like that. It's like saying, okay, I need to make sure I'm using all of the right words just so that my resume can be seen, because it's in a pool of, you know, it could be in a pool of 10,000 resumes. How is mine going to pop? Am I using the right font? Am I using, you know, you go into that where you almost feel like in today's time, you almost feel like the content of who you are and your, you know, your background, your history, your experience becomes secondary. And that never used to be the case, but now that becomes secondary. You know, you look and say, well, hey, I was the manager of so-and-so and so, or hey, I was the director of this division here for 10 years, or and you look at everything that you've done, that you almost don't look at that anymore. That becomes secondary, and it's like, no, well, what words did you use? Did you use the 20 words here? Did you use the right font? Did you use the right, and even with all of that, and then you hope, and then on top of that, again, you can't follow up anymore. You can't walk into a building. Well, this is in New York, so I'm just going to speak for New York as of right now. You can't walk into. You used to could be able to just go into a company, you know, and just if you're going by visiting, you have the day off or whatever. You take a day off, you go into a company, and you can, you know, have your suit and briefcase and hand them your resume. Yeah. And companies would appreciate that. And you say, listen, my name is so-and-so, and I do so-and-so. I would like to know if I can just leave my resume here, and if anyone, you know, if ever you need whatever, or if anyone's ever interested, you can give me a call. And companies gladly, you know, because then they're not even, you know, putting an ad out there, but they say, hey, this person, let's look into, you know, you can't do that at all. Because imagine in today's time, you can't do that. You would have, again, those same 4,000 people trying to walk in the office and say, can I give you my resume? Can I give you my resume? Here's my resume. I'd like to drop it off. They don't have time for that. You know, as a business, they don't have time to sit. You would have to, again, hire 2 people who just do that, collect resumes for people walking in.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that tight, and it's a scary situation right now. You know?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm working, my company is hiring. At least my team is hiring. And it's not like, well, I'll tell you, I mean, the last ad, because I'm responsible for recruiting as well. Right. And the last ad I put on, I got a 15-day trial with this service called Snag-a-Job. And then I also got a free trial with another service called ZipRecruiter. And it's crazy because with this Snag-a-Job service, in the free trial period of 15 days, I got anywhere from 15 to 20 applications.
Right.
Which is a lot. I mean, the lady gave me a call. She was like, because the thing is that with the free trial, you have very little bells and whistles. I mean, it's just a bare minimum kind of thing. And I was getting 15 applications. And the funny thing is that even though this was considered a large number, considering that it was a free trial and things of this nature, it's still nothing by comparison to several thousands, you know? But here's the thing. What's interesting to me is that my line of work is all, first of all, it's sales. Second of all, it's all commission. It's not a base salary. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the fact that there's such a huge disparity between the number of people who are looking for these base jobs. I mean, there are a lot of people who have PhDs who are now stocking shelves. I mean, why would they choose the shelf stocking as opposed to something where they have an unlimited income potential? I mean, why would they choose that? Not only is the position itself demeaning and basically destroying what they've learned in their whole life as far as not giving them the ability to use the skills that they've learned, it's also not paying them anything. It's paying them peanuts. So why is it that these types of positions, such as the network marketing, such as the commission sales and things of this nature, why are these positions not being absolutely flooded right now? I don't see any reasons why there would be, for example, when you walk into a department store, or really all kinds of different large businesses, large corporations.
Yes.
You walk in there and you see the people, you see, you know, people who are in their 40s and up, doing really, really, really menial jobs and looking like they're doing a menial job too, you know, and you can see it in their face. So I'm wondering what the extent of dependence is on these base salary, the dependence on the system itself, because I feel like there shouldn't be that many people who are basically settling for the part-time position that's paying you peanuts. As a for example, this is a crazy story. When I started out with my company, because it was commission only, I wanted to have a little bit of base on the side so I had a little something to fall back on just in case I had a slow month or something like that.
Right.
So here I am, and I'm getting a part-time job. And first of all, it was a totally tedious process. They didn't even look at my resume, but it was different because, I mean, we're in Atlanta. I walked in there and I did the old school thing. I walked in there whenever I could, and I would speak with people and all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty small store, kind of. So I would walk in and bring my resume, but I found out later that there were I don't know exactly how many, but it was a really large number. I think it was like 1,000. And a lot of these people were like PhDs and master degrees and all of this stuff. And it's a part-time position. The only reason I was picking it up was because it was for me to have a floor. And these people are like, you know, some of the people that said when I was speaking with the hiring manager after I got the position, that some of these people, when they interviewed them, they found out that these people have been searching for work for 3, 6, 9, 12 months. They've been searching for work. Wow. And this is a part-time job. And they have PhDs and master's degrees. And you're highly educated, right?
Right. I
mean, it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
In New York, they say there are PhDs who are driving cabs, you know, who are doing things like driving.